going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be doing a video on my current collection of my budget sliders, my budget haptic coins that I have. These are all either 3D printed or resin printed, but this video is inspired by a new fidget I purchased, 3D printed, and that would be the Fidget Boy. I'm going to talk about this. This came from Jason Tierney, who you might know from the groups, the different fidget groups on Facebook, but he's actually starting to sell fidgets. He created his own brand. He's a graphic designer, and he created Fidget Boy, but he sent me all the prototypes, and just from the conversations I had with him, I kind of know which ones came in what order, I think. And so I'm going to take you through kind of the prototypes all the way to the finished product and just kind of review each one. So here's my current collection. So the first one I want to start with actually is right back here. When I first started reviewing fidgets, I think the first Fidget with a Friends video that I did of stuff that Mel sent me, this little guy was in there. This was from Haptic EDC. And it's this super light magnet, just very delicate piece. And I remember going through the different items in the case, and I got to this guy and I said, yep, don't even bother, and I tossed him to the side. He may be, let me see here, out of this pile, he is the only original 3D printed piece that I have. He is so subtle and perfect. He's good for work because I can just do that all day. And it's virtually silent and just super subtle. And it's hilarious that the piece that I tossed to the side and really didn't care for it all to begin with has grown on me so much that it's my only remaining original piece. Just kind of funny. But that is Haptic EDC, who also then, this was kind of their original style, was this waffle pattern. They made this square slider that is so snappy. And like I mentioned in my previous video, you take this taped side, which is really nice and smooth, and pair it with the Gao square, just half of it. I know I'm always franken fidgeting, as I call it, which is taking two different fidgets, putting them together and seeing kind of what combination you can make in terms of sound and feel. These two pair so perfectly, and great news, although they don't make this waffle pattern anymore because he has upgraded big time in terms of his 3D printing power. He's the one that also makes the Surge now, which is everyone's new favorite. So you can tell, I mean, his work and his machining that he has upgraded significantly. So he doesn't make this pattern anymore, but he does have square sliders again for the first time since he had this pattern and this machine. So square sliders are back up on the site, so if you like the Surge and you want something to kind of pair with the Gao slider, or I'm sure honestly that it's just phenomenal by itself, get on there now, hapticedc.com, not .com, Jesus Christ, Haptic EDC on Etsy rather, and you can check out the Surge and the square slider that he has now. Is that it from Haptic EDC? I think, yeah. Then we've got Rapid EDC. So he was new. His Etsy store is currently on hold. I think he's taken a little break from the quick skyrocket to fame that I'm sure he experienced when he started 3D printing stuff, resin printing rather. So this was his first one. You can tell it's pretty thick compared to, yeah, wowzers. That is the 3DC Printings on Etsy. So even the triple stack is less in height, but at the same time, I love this piece. I thought everything needed to be super sleek and small, but this piece is still really awesome. Again, it's kind of a subtle magnet piece, but he was the first one that I saw kind of doing this like see-through, and that's the resin, I'm sure, but they're starting to do it with some of the 3D printed stuff too, where you know, 3DC printing has like a frag slider like this. This is the frag pattern, but it's in like a 3D printed Ultim, so you can actually see through it and you can see the magnets underneath. It's really cool. So he was kind of the first one that I saw this, and I thought that looked so cool. So again, it's just kind of a subtle piece, but super cool. Alex, we'd love to have you back, man. Hope you're doing all right, and can't wait to see what else you come out with. These things are phenomenal. He also did this coin, same thickness, just about as this one, a little thinner, so he was starting the machine down. But it gives this really interesting kind of pop crackle that is so cool. I love this coin, and it's a really unique sound. I was doing some gardening, raking, and Jesus, I get blisters easy. Okay. Then we've got 3DC printings. So they are the only ones that are close to what I would say is my dream from a 3D printed fidget collection. But that's the one I have the most of. He was the first one that I really got into because I got the glitch. This is the vector, but the glitch is just a straight diagonal pattern. And it was a triple stack, and it had that crunch to it. And it was the first one, the first fidget I had that didn't have magnets that were glued in. So the first one, you got that kind of loose click of the magnets, and I was in love. I fell in love with 3DC printing immediately. Haptic EDC grew on me, like I said, over time. This was an instant win for me. The size and the feel, just super cool. Now this did come with a lanyard. I took a Dremel and I took that off because these magnets are stronger than, let's say, the chip. And this is like the potato chip or something like that, but the magnets are weaker. So if I put that middle piece in there, which doesn't have a lanyard, and is printed as such, these two don't stick together as strong. So I took that off for my own maneuverability, but the vector is nice. I think the vector comes with one side that is not clicky and one side that is clicky. Glitch comes with two clicky sides and a clicky middle. The potato chip or whatever is just really subtle, so you know, you get it up and it'll kind of pop its way down, but if you try to go too fast, sometimes you'll get like that wonkiness of it. But still, just kind of a nice subtle crunch, and since the pattern on the inside is the same as the pattern on the outside, you can, you know, kind of flip-flop it around a little bit, and it doesn't matter which one's the inside or which one's the outside. They all kind of move around, so that one's interesting too. This is the mini, and it's same magnet strength as the chip, just tiny, also fun, really cool piece. Then he came out with this one, which just kind of has this nice flip to it, but it's still pretty quiet. This guy also pairs, if I can get the right side, pairs perfectly for a lightweight, quick motion flipping when you have one side that's heavier. So I use this one pretty regularly on the back of one of the gal sides. And then, what was this guy called? I don't know. The lunch tray or something like that. But this one, you just kind of make that motion over and over again. This is probably my least favorite, but it got me thinking a lot more than some of the other pieces did. My least favorite just because I thought, kind of exposed magnets, I don't know about that, and there's no real sound to it. It's more of a motion. But then I started taking that out, putting it on here, popping that around, and I started to get into it a little bit more. And then I started thinking, well, then you got this little slide back and forth guy. Why couldn't I pop that piece on there? And next thing I knew, I'm messing around with this and popping that up. I mean, there's a ton of different little variations. And you can actually get snappier sounds with both the magnets on there. So I've messed with this a lot. And then I started thinking, man, what if this was all Franken fidgetable? And I could take that off and I could pop, you know, this on here and then have the slider on the back. And I could take this piece off of here, put that there, and have, you know, some sort of back and forth here on this. And you could have all these pieces kind of intermingle or be interchangeable, so people could go in and create all sorts of different combinations and really explore your pieces, and really find like almost like those old Happy Meals, like the Inspector Gadget one, where you had to go to McDonald's to collect all the pieces of Inspector Gadget. It'd be like a Power Rangers kind of thing, where all the pieces kind of come together, the Megazord or whatever. I never watched the show, but people would buy a bunch more of the items because they'd want to say, oh my God, so now I can take this, I can stick that on the back there, and while I'm walking, I can flip, I can turn this over, I can pop that around, and just really come up with their own combinations, just as long as all your stuff was, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, modular, or, you know, it could all be kind of used interchangeably in a way. It takes some thinking for sure and getting all the measurements right, but I think there's something to that for sure. These guys are from, I think it's like MZM. Oh, I didn't even realize that. That's kind of fun. MZM Design on Etsy as well. They released this chunky guy, which I kind of liked. Mel had let me try him, Mel at EDC Fidget. And I kind of like that corner rotation over and over again. And you get this pretty strong slap between your turns. It's a really loud clap. And then they came out with these modular coins that started out as just a design of 2 poker chips, but he's since moved into more, well, I'll just say it, it's not as tacky looking. The poker chips, I had them and I used them regularly, but it wasn't one I took out anywhere because I just felt kind of, I don't know, like some kind of casino shark or something playing with them. So it's really cool that he's moved on to some kind of cooler designs. And this one's got kind of a cool fade between the colors, gradient. This part I thought was going to have a little more of a texture. It doesn't. It's smooth to the touch, but his stuff is cool because you can also do that, and now you've got a texture on the outside, and you've got a whole different feel and sound between the two plates. So you just kind of take it and you push it around, and you do this one move that I'm not good at, but you can line it up just right so that it, hold on, pops. Holy shit, I did it. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's one of those things almost like the pop puck, where when you actually nail that move, you feel like a rock star. Okay, see there, I did not nail the move, but that's fun. That's a cool piece. This one is a guy in New Zealand, and he hasn't moved on to anything besides this, so this one is called Clicky Things, and it's fine, but you know, you get that, I know this is the big thing right now, like if you do that, does it ladder? Sorry, Sean and Mel. No, this one doesn't, and mainly I used it, you got it, to pair with the gal, which it did sound great on there. But then you got these guys, and I don't know their names, but they are snappy as hell, and I like them. Hey, look at that, they had the exposed magnets too. You know, I might not have just been paying attention when I said that that he was the first one to do exposed magnets, but either way. Now what you've been waiting for, right here. Jason Tierney, Fidget Boy. All right, this is the finished product. I'm gonna show you the one that he first sent me a video of. This was the original design, I believe. I'm building my own narrative off of the look of these and the design to fit a story that I want to tell. Yeah, anyway, this is like fidgeting with a turtle. It's just insane, but it sounds so cool. Just having this kind of like hollowness in the back, I think, behind the magnets. Wow. I mean, so when you look at it, obviously 3D work, you can see some gaps, and these things are a little rough to the touch, but he nailed the texture on the plates, and the sound is just ultra crunch. It is like the crunchiest. So this was the first one that he sent me, and he asked me what I thought. I was super stoked about the sound. I loved it. So from there, and maybe I'm messing it up here, this is where I'm taking creative liberties with the story. He moved to this clover pattern. Again, you can see that kind of the insets, and I gotta say, this feels really good. Just the kind of stepped way that some of these 3D pattern or 3D printers print with that pattern. It's a perfect fit for your thumbs and fingers. But you can see it was like he was playing with the machining of how close to there do I get with the magnets. And so some of the parts of the magnets are exposed. And it also kind of took some of the crunch away, right? From there, he built the tiny turtle. See the size difference, it got significantly smaller. It brought back some of that awesome crunch from that first one. Still super snappy, super, like you just whip fast. And I love anything that's got that kind of functionality that you can just rip it, just bam, 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 without it flying off. And that's always kind of how I test it. If I go to push with my thumb there and this thing goes flying off, that just means that it's not strong enough for me, because I love just sitting there watching a show and just bam, bam, bam. User error. So you got mama turtle, baby turtle, right? Then he comes up with the idea for this kind of Game Boy design, and also whip fast. Really cool. Sounds really good. I did have this one kind of keep jumping down a little bit like that, and I noticed, you see some of the magnets are falling back and some are staying closer. Oh, that's the child at the window. Some of the magnets are falling back when you lean it back like this, and some are staying close to the surface. And so sometimes I was going to ladder it and it skips over, and it would do that. And then he kind of combined best of both worlds and took the turtle design and the Game Boy design and made his own design, so you have that that more kind of rounded edge, but with that Game Boy design. And bam, snappy, super clicky, awesome design, super quick. Oh my gosh, so cool. Look at that. So, you know, obviously he's still in early stages of his fidget making career. So, you know, some of that stuff can be tidied up in terms of design and kind of cleaning it up, and some of the edges not being so sharp, because it really does whip around so super fast that I could see my fingers kind of getting a little beat up from pushing on this over and over again. But if this is just out of the gate, and this is number one that he's selling, this is somebody to look out for in the 3D printed game, 100%. Jason, I appreciate you letting me try all these out. These pieces are so cool. I don't know if you will. Maybe I can pay you to make me the turtle, because I'm sure you'll want to save your prototypes. But I need this guy too. 100%. I need this guy. And to be honest, probably the baby turtle too. Mama and baby. These are incredible work. I'm really excited to see what else you have coming next. Keep it up, and you guys, those are my recommendations for 3D printed fidgets. Have a good one, and always remember